If you were down to your very last hit point, what class would you choose? A warrior or a mage? But reality gave Su Mubai only one answer: an ICU bed, trapped in a vegetative state. All he could do was wait for Lu Ruyan, the girlfriend he'd loved for 5 years, to pull the oxygen tube from his throat, and he heard every word of the cruel mockery she shared with the blonde-haired Zhao Su. Su Mubai will gladly take your billions. 5 years ago, I personally put Ruyan in your bed for this very day. In that instant, suffocation crashed over him like a tide. Was this really how it ended? No. Why should he be left to die like this? He refused to accept it. At the exact moment his heart flatlined, the rules of the world shattered, and a radiant gate appeared out of nowhere. Congratulations! Blue Star has been selected to enter the Myriad Worlds game. All participants will start from zero and begin a brand new life. Global transmigration will commence in 30 seconds. In an instant, some cheered while others fell into despair. What the hell? I was seconds away from becoming a billionaire, and now you're telling me nothing from reality carries over? Lu Ruyan asked nervously. As long as there's still a breath left, they can enter the game. Su Mubai wouldn't get in too, right? Zhao Su sneered. With that useless body, he'd be trash even in the game. As the countdown hit 0, everyone was forcibly transported into the game. And Su Mubai was no exception. This was heaven giving him a second chance. He could not die. He would hunt down that pair of traitors and take revenge with his own hands. In the blink of an eye, he found himself inside the Descender's temple. Strength surged back into his legs, and Su Mubai gasped. This wasn't a dream. He was standing again. The system immediately began scanning his physical data and prompted him to confirm his in-game name. Without hesitation, Su Mubai chose the name Bai Yi, and once confirmed, the game truly began. Talent Awakening. All players entering the Myriad Worlds game will automatically awaken a talent in the Starry Hall, with ranks ranging from F to 3S, divided into 9 tiers. At that moment, a burst of golden light erupted as the system announced, "Congratulations, you have awakened an S-rank competitive talent. Ascension, no cost, permanently upgrade any target by 1 tier. Transcendence, consumes resources to permanently upgrade any target by 2 tiers. Cataclysm, consumes lifespan to permanently upgrade any target by 3 tiers and apply a Cataclysm trait. First use is free." Su Mubai stared at this absurdly overpowered talent, barely having time to feel joy before several more beams of golden light descended. "Please choose your class." But just as he was about to consider his options, the system suddenly flashed a red alert. Player body has completely decayed during transmigration. Soul stability is critically low, removing unavailable class options. Su Mubai's heart sank. Decayed, unstable, was he about to die again the moment he arrived? Before he could react, a skeletal mage appeared before him as the system declared, due to the player's undead physiology, forcibly binding the unique hidden class. Necromancer. Congratulations, class selection complete. Su Mubai cursed under his breath. There was never any real choice to begin with. Sure, a necromancer didn't sound terrible on paper, but something was clearly wrong. Why was his maximum HP permanently stuck at 1? Worse still, his remaining lifespan was only 1 year, meaning even a light touch could kill him, making that S-rank talent feel utterly pointless. If the system left him no retreat, then he would gamble everything. After all, hadn't he just awakened an upgrade-type talent? "System," Su Mubai said coldly, "activate Cataclysm and upgrade my class." The system responded immediately. Upgrading your class requires a lifespan cost of 100,000 years. You possess 1 free Cataclysm activation. Confirm usage. Without hesitation, Su Mubai pressed confirm. In an instant, a blinding pillar of golden light crashed down as the system announced, "Congratulations, player Bai Yi. You have successfully advanced to the exclusive hidden class Death Overlord, acquiring the new skills Life Link and Summoning Amplification, as well as the exclusive item Book of Death." And just as Su Mubai felt a surge of exhilaration, the system issued another notice. "The Myriad Worlds game will officially begin in 10 seconds. Player Bai Yi, please prepare." Clearly, his upgrade talent had consumed far too much time. Lu Ruyan. "Zhao Su," Su Mubai said coldly in his heart, "I'll come for you both, and I'll make you taste true despair." As the countdown reached 0, welcome to the Myriad Worlds game. Current location, Divine Dragon Empire, Beginner Village number 9527. Unable to wait any longer, Su Mubai immediately activated his skills to test their effects. Summon Lesser Skeleton. Active the skeleton's attribute scale with the player's spirit stat. Burn. Active deals magic damage equal to 150% of spell power over 5 seconds. Life Link. Passive links one summoned undead unit, sharing its health pool and instantly activating an S-rank passive effect. Summoning Amplification. Passive reduces casting time of summoning skills to 50%, reduces cooldowns by 50%, increases summon unit attributes by 50%, and expands summoning space capacity by 500%. Seeing this, Su Mubai couldn't help but laugh. There was no longer any need to worry about his pitiful HP limit. At that moment, a thick black tome drifted slowly toward him. Book of Death, class-exclusive item, cannot be dropped, destroyed, or traded, readable only by Bai Yi. Once requirements are met, it allows the user to learn exclusive Death Overlord skills. Seeing this, Su Mubai frowned. The book still showed no stats at all. Did it only unlock after level 10? Forget it, he decided to summon a skeleton first. But to his surprise, a single cast brought forth 2 skeletons at once. The system immediately displayed a notice. Cataclysm trait activated. All personal skill effects doubled. Even with 2 of them out, they didn't look particularly impressive at first glance. Just then, a ball player walked up and struck up a conversation. Summoner bro, your talent's at least level 1, right? Mine too. If we team up, leveling will be way faster. Su Mubai rejected him without hesitation. Sorry, Q-Ball, I prefer grinding solo. The guy immediately snapped back. A summoner acting tough, but you can't even kill a walking chicken. Su Mubai couldn't be bothered to respond. He headed straight into the wilderness and saw a small party struggling to take down a single chicken. Damn, Su Mubai muttered, that chicken hits harder than I do. Level 0 players really are worse than a level 1 chicken. Sure, the walking chicken's attack power was ridiculous, but it wasn't worth his time. After awakening a class like this, killing chickens just felt beneath him. At that moment, rustling sounds came from the grass, and 2 white rabbits suddenly hopped out. Checking their stats, tiger-eyed rabbits. Su Mubai instantly knew getting rammed by one would hurt like hell. He calmly ordered the skeletons to take the hit head-on. No need for him to lift a finger. With no one else around, Su Mubai decided to summon more. Let's test the real firepower. He tapped his staff against the ground. Rise, my warriors. And 2 more skeletons clawed their way out of the earth. Tear them apart. As Su Mubai finished off the 2 red-eyed rabbits far above his level, the system completed its calculations. He received a 50% bonus experience multiplier, and the pace felt solid. At this rate, hitting level 1 wouldn't take long at all. More importantly, he had already linked 2 skeletons to himself, meaning he was no longer at risk of being instantly killed. After that, Su Mubai began grinding relentlessly. Before long, he reached level 1 and was awarded 15 free attribute points. Studying his stat panel, Su Mubai made a quick decision. His summon scaled with spirit, but with only 1 HP, mobility was just as critical, so he allocated 4 points to agility and 11 to spirit. Then a realization struck him. If even classes could be upgraded, why not try upgrading skills as well? Without hesitation, every skill advanced by 1 level, triggering a dramatic leap in effectiveness, especially the S-rank life link, which now passively shared the HP of all summoned units. 1 permanent HP didn't matter anymore. With 20 skeletons, their combined health pool was approaching 9,000 HP. At this point, staying low-key was pointless. He raised his staff high, and several more skeletons answered the call. Since the skills were upgraded, there was no reason to leave his class-exclusive equipment untouched. A burst of golden light flashed as the Book of Death successfully evolved into the Death Codex. From that moment on, real grinding officially began. So you're the Clawfon Cat Demons. Huh. Free spirits who bow to nothing. Su Mubai sneered. Rise. All of you that I'm summoning a full army of 20 skeletons. Under the effect of Death Omen, each summon now took only 2 seconds. In just 2.5 minutes, every cat demon in the area was wiped out, and Su Mubai advanced smoothly to level 2. With his spirit stat increased, the skeletons grew even stronger, and after clearing another sweep of the wilderness, Su Mubai arrived at his first dungeon entrance, Mistvale Forest. Just as he was about to enter, the system issued a warning. Mistvale Forest contains rare treasures, but is filled with extreme danger. Do you wish to challenge it solo? Su Mubai pointed behind him and laughed. Solo, you sure you don't see the army I brought? Please select Dungeon Difficulty. Normal, Hard, Nightmare, Hell. With an outright cheat tier build backing him, Su Mubai didn't hesitate. He chose Hell Difficulty. In the next instant, he was transported into Hell Mode Mist Veil Forest, where dense fog swallowed everything and visibility dropped to near zero. But he had no need to scout personally. You guys take point, find targets, kill. Through his mental link with the skeletons, information flooded in, and level 8 elite, Mystery Ant had appeared ahead. Su Mubai looked in that direction, a cold smile forming. Looks like the bait worked. All units attack. The tree ant merely waved an arm, and one skeleton's arm was instantly shattered. As expected, Su Mubai narrowed his eyes. Elite monsters don't hit lightly, but sheer numbers were on his side. Moments later, the system chimed. Elite Mist Tree Int defeated, granting a 50% bonus for overlevel kill. At that exact moment, a sudden disturbance erupted behind him. It was a Mist Vine Python. Su Mubai reacted instantly, dodging the ambush at the last second. He sneered, "Sneak attack? Find I'll roast you and eat you." After several intense exchanges, Su Mubai finally brought down the Mist Vine Python, and it dropped a piece of gear. Unfortunately, leather armor, completely useless for his class. As he continued pushing deeper through the dungeon, his level steadily climbed, eventually reaching level 5. Health difficulty truly lived up to its reputation. The drop rates were insane. By now, he had picked up 3 pieces of equipment and 2 skill books. Sadly, only a wooden staff was even usable, and its stats were painfully weak. He'd definitely need a real weapon later on. Just as the thought crossed his mind, the Death Codex suddenly flew out on its own. System notification flashed. All attributes increased by 25 points, along with bonus damage against undead units. Though Su Mubai couldn't help but think this dungeon didn't even have undead enemies. Waving his hand, he muttered, "With this gear, I should be able to test the boss." Soon, a silver rank Mistvine Python King came into view, flanked by 2 enhanced elite guards. Su Mubai quickly calculated. Over 80,000 HP on the boss alone, plus 2 guards. Whether his summons could hold was questionable. "Screw it, let's see what happens," he ordered. All units charge. After just one exchange, only a single skeleton was left standing beside him. Even so, Su Mubai sneered. "No matter how hard you hit, you can't outlast a skeleton swarm." After 2.5 hours of grinding warfare, both guards were finally taken down. Su Mubai gathered mana and laughed. "Guard her down. Focus fire on the boss." He hurled a burn spell, then froze. What the hell? Why is the damage so low? That attack instantly enraged the Python King. It snapped up a skeleton with every bite, and one massive tail sweep wiped out dozens more. Left with no choice, Su Mubai kept summoning non-stop just to keep the front line alive. Just as Su Mubai was thinking through his next move, the Mistvine Python King suddenly unleashed a poison spray straight at him. "You gotta be kidding," Su Mubai thought. "This boss actually knows to target the player?" The toxin exploded across his body, yet he took 0 damage. Su Mubai smirked. Thanks to shared HP, his effective health pool had already surpassed 100,000. "That's all you got? Then die." After another grueling 2.5 hours, the Python King finally collapsed. System notifications rang out as Su Mubai received the solo boss kill bonus, and a village-wide announcement followed. "Congratulations to player by Yi, the first to solo a silver rank boss." The surrounding players instantly erupted in disbelief. This has to be a reincarnator with hacks. That talent's gotta be S rank, or even 3S. Even the group that had been struggling with walking chicken snapped. "We can't even kill a chicken together, and he solos a boss." Figures normal people were wage slaves before transmigration and cannon fodder after. Elsewhere, someone muttered quietly, "So, soloing a boss triggers a global announcement. If I'd known that, I would have let Maple solo that Black Iron boss." Maple sighed helplessly. "Don't flatter me that I'm nowhere near strong enough to solo a silver boss." Rikia raised an eyebrow. "You awakened an S rank talent, and Bai Yi is still stronger than you? Could his talent be above S rank?" Their teammate Marshmallow chimed in. "S rank? That's insane. Big sis Rikia, should we invite him to our team?" Rikia turned confidently, smiling. "Why not? No man has ever refused my invitation." Just seconds after the announcement went out, a flood of friend requests slammed into Su Mubai's inbox. He sighed in annoyance. I've got levels to grind, I don't have time for playdates, and rejected them all without hesitation. Then his gaze shifted to the basic soul stone that had dropped earlier. Each one granted 30 days of lifespan, so without a second thought, he upgraded them on the spot. Golden light flashed as an ultimate soulstone appeared. Just as expected, 6 of them amounted to nearly 2 full years of lifespan. The sheer joy of farming life for free was addictive. Clearly, he needed to stockpile more soulstones. Next, he turned to the pile of newly dropped gear. The only item worth mentioning was a poison ring, upgraded. Spells now carried poison damage. Su Mubai nodded in satisfaction. If raw damage isn't enough, poison will make up the difference. Glancing at the depleted ranks behind him, he frowned. Losing so many skeletons to a low-tier boss meant his summons still weren't strong enough. Now that he had gold, it was time to try Transcendence and push the summoning skill further. But when the system prompt popped up, his heart still twitched. 5 gold coins for a single Transcendence was steep. Still, gold could be earned again. Do it. In the next instant, Summon Lesser Skeleton evolved into Summon Skeleton Soldiers, and the units called forth were no longer fodder, but skeleton warriors and skeleton archers. Yeah, that gold was well spent. Checking their stat panels, Su Mubai finally smiled. Now this is real combat power. He raised his hand and commanded, Plague Legion, continue exploring. Fixing his eyes on the monsters ahead, he gave a cold order, goblins or not. Ranged units, focus fire one first. Meanwhile, Beginner Village was buzzing as numerous teams began recruiting, claiming they would tackle Mist Vale Forest together once everyone reached level 5. Just then, a middle-aged man stepped forward and announced loudly, Brothers, I plan to establish the Dominion Guild and explore the Myriad Worlds game. Anyone interested? Someone immediately scoffed. Who do you think you are? We just logged in and you're already hiring workers? Unfazed, the man pulled up his status panel. S-rank talent. Born leader, granting him a free guild creation. And the stronger the guild became, the greater the boost he personally received. Seeing this, the crowd's attitude flipped instantly, and players rushed forward begging to join. At that moment, a global pinned announcement suddenly appeared. Rich as heaven. Brother Bai Yi, could you accept my friend request? I have important matters to discuss. The village exploded in a chatter. I've killed dozens of monsters and don't even have 100 copper, and this big spender drops 10 gold just to send a message. And who even is this Bai Yi? Seeing the message, Su Mubai thought the same. Anyone willing to burn 10 gold to contact him was worth meeting. The moment he accepted the request, Rich as heaven sent a party invite, promising full coverage on gear and skills, plus an upfront payment of 100 gold. Sensing a trap, Su Mubai questioned her directly. We all just left the beginner phase. Why should I trust you? Her reply was simple. She possessed a 3S rank talent, God of Wealth, and to her, money was nothing more than numbers. After checking her stat panel, even Su Mubai couldn't help but be stunned. This God of Wealth talent was absurdly powerful. Still, having a walking ATM in the party came with strings attached. Teaming up meant restrictions and a high risk of exposing his trump cards. After brief consideration, Su Mubai declined decisively, making it clear, at least for now, he preferred to act solo. Rikia's expression darkened instantly, irritation flashing across her face. What, he actually dared to turn me down? The others were briefly surprised, but quickly shrugged it off. So what? It's not like we can't fight without him, we're just a bit under-geared and slower, that's all. Just then, Rikia received another message. Interested in making a deal? A deal? The reply was blunt. I've got some spare gear and skill books I don't need. Your team probably does. The group perked up instantly. That's great. He's willing to sell us equipment. Before long, both sides agreed to trade once they wrapped up their current tasks. Maple was visibly excited. Once I get that gear, my combat powers go to spike. Farming speed will jump by a mile. At that moment, a bronze rank boss spawned nearby. Rikia turned to Maple. Can you solo it? Maple thought for a second, then nodded. Should be doable. Good. Rikia decided immediately. Give all healing potions to Maple. Then leave the party away. Secure the perimeter. No interruptions. We're taking this system announcement for sure, she added gently. Go Maple. Maple tightened his grip on the spear and replied firmly. Understood. Watching his clean execution and precise movement, Rikia smiled in satisfaction. This solo boss kill looked solid. Meanwhile, On the other side of Mistvale Forest, Su Mubai had already taken down the Goblin Chieftain and reached level 6. With an entire Skeleton Legion at his back, he was practically steamrolling hell difficulty. The only real annoyance was how exhausting it was to pick up all the loot. Luckily, Su Mubai spotted an emblem with surprisingly solid stats. But the instant he equipped it, a thunderous roar erupted from deep within the forest. The skeleton soldier's HP plummeted by half as a furious voice boomed through the mist. "You worthless bones! How dare you trespass on my territory?" A system alert immediately followed. The massive presence of skeleton soldiers had awakened the long-buried memories of the Goblin King. The exit of Mistvale Forest has been sealed. Only by defeating the Goblin King may you leave the dungeon. Defeat the target within 2 minutes to trigger the hidden storyline of Mistvale Forest. Staring at the screen flooded with arcane symbols, Su Mubai clicked his tongue. "You gotta be kidding. The exit's sealed, and my summons triggered a hidden event?" If that was the case, then he'd see for himself what kind of monster this was. Following the roar, he soon arrived at the Goblin King's domain. An abnormally massive goblin stood there, belly jutting out, battle axe swinging wildly as it roared. "I'll smash every last one of your rotten bones." When the status panel appeared, Su Mubai's eyes narrowed. "A gold rank boss, and it's in a frenzied state, and I've got 2 minutes to kill it, that's rough." But a cold grin crept across his face. "Still, it's not impossible. All units attack." In the next instant, Reggie charged first as the Skeleton Legion collided head-on with the Goblin King, igniting a brutal clash. Reggie threw his head back and roared, pure hatred in his voice. "Just the stench of you makes me sick, die. Every last one of you." He slammed his battle axe into the ground, and in an instant, lightning exploded outward, a violent surge sweeping across a 30-meter radius. Su Mubai's eyes sharpened. This damage was no joke. Any normal level 5 player would have been wiped out instantly. "Too bad for you," he said coldly. "You ran into me, burn." Reggie's eyes turned bloodshot as he roared. "Insolent insect! You dare ambush me?" At the same time, the skeleton soldiers launched waves of feints. "That's it. Focus fire," Su Mubai growled. "I refuse to believe you won't go down." Just as he thought the boss could be worn down, Reggie suddenly waved his hand, tearing open a teleport gate behind him. "Warriors of my tribe, smash these filthy bones into dust." In an instant, countless goblins poured out, many of them clearly elite variants. Su Mubai's expression darkened. Summoning reinforcements was bad enough, but they were all in a berserk state, which made things far more troublesome. Then Reggie locked eyes with him, his voice heavy with fury. "Cursed necromancer, I led my people in the Mistvale Forest to hide. So why won't you leave us alone?" Before the words finished, Reggie leapt skyward and bellowed, "Warriors, crush them!" The shockwave sent Su Mubai flying backward. But thanks to shared HP, he managed to hold on, barely keeping himself standing. His gaze hardened instantly. "Then we end this fast." He raised his hand sharply. "Take out the archers first. Ranged units, fire." Surrounded by an overwhelming skeleton legion, it didn't take long before 10 goblin warriors were cut down in succession. Reggie completely lost control, roaring in fury. "No, I will not fall. I will never become your slave again." At that instant, a system alert flashed. Reggie has entered berserk mode. Su Mubai let out a cold chuckle. "You sure talk a lot for a dead man." Just then, a global announcement popped up. "Congratulations to Maple Xiao Xiao for becoming the first player to solo a bronze rank boss." The first kill announcement had been snatched away. Su Mubai merely glanced at it before refocusing. Whatever can't afford distractions, full assault. Under the relentless advance of the skeleton army, the goblin forces collapsed, retreating step by step. Even Reggie himself finally ran out of strength and crashed to the ground. "No, I refuse to accept this." The next second, a thunderous system notification echoed. Solo gold rank boss defeated. And this time, the soulstone reward was 2 stones more than expected. Su Mubai suddenly realized that the boss hadn't dropped anything at all. Could this be related to some kind of hidden storyline? Meanwhile, on the other side, countless players began sucking up, all hoping to join the guild and benefit from the buffs granted by the Dominion talent. Someone scoffed. "That Maple guy was just lucky to let's go straight for a gold rank boss." Dominion replied helplessly, "Do you think I'm invincible or something? You think I can kill anything?" Just as the words faded, an announcement flashed. Su Mubai had solo killed a gold rank boss. instantly throwing everyone into shock. Players couldn't help but wonder what kind of class Su Mubai had awakened. Could it really be a 3S rank profession? Even Maple, who had just slain a silver rank boss, was stunned. Su Mubai again. This man's strength was terrifying. Rikia patted Maple on the shoulder and said with a smile, "Relax. The Myriad Worlds game has only just begun. There will be plenty of chances to catch up to Su Mubai. Besides, with me around, your growth speed will definitely surpass his." Maple nodded. "True enough, let's go. It's time to check out the next dungeon." The focus returned to Su Mubai. The system issued a notification. Because he had defeated the Goblin King within 2 minutes, the dungeon difficulty was raised to disaster level. Su Mubai didn't hesitate and immediately summoned his skeletons. At that moment, Reggie's corpse began to change, wisps of dark smoke slowly seeping from his 7 orifices. As the smoke brushed past Su Mubai, a surge of heavy, unfamiliar memories flooded into his mind. The visions revealed the past of Reggie and the goblin race. They had once been slaves to necromancers. Including Reggie himself, all goblins have been locked in cages and repeatedly used in brutal experiments. Those small skeletons had all been goblins in life. Reggie's corpse slowly rose into the air. In the next instant, the body exploded. A skeleton king clad in armor and wearing a crown appeared. One of the most successful creations of ancient necromancers, something that should never have existed in a newbie village. The skeleton king looked down at his bony hands and spoke with regret. "In the end, I still couldn't escape becoming undead." He raised his arm and commanded coldly, "Fight for me, warriors." The moment his hand fell, a massive ancient sword materialized out of thin air. Staring at Reggie's completely transformed stat panel, Su Mubai reached a single conclusion. This was never meant to appear at this stage. The Skeleton King lifted the ancient sword and let out a thunderous roar. 3 pairs of skeletons marched forward in formation. There were only 6 of them, yet each rivaled 4 of Su Mubai's minions. Suddenly, the Skeleton King pointed his blade at Su Mubai and roared, "All enemies shall become undead, just like us." As Su Mubai hesitated over whether to confront him head-on, the system issued another alert. Hidden storyline. Reggie's nightmare activated. Newbie village protection rules applied. Upon death, the player would lose 10% of their lifespan, with a minimum loss of 10 years. Even absorbing every life stone wouldn't be enough. In the next second, the Skeleton King brought his sword down, instantly wiping out 6 skeleton warriors. Su Mubai's gaze turned ice cold. He immediately cast another summon, but with his current mana, he could only call forth 120 skeleton warriors. Still far from enough. After becoming the Skeleton King, Reggie's defense skyrocketed. Neither skeleton warriors nor skeleton archers could deal effective damage. Su Mubai judged that only an all-or-nothing gamble remained. Consume every life stone and calculate the cost of disaster tier evolution. The moment the absorption finished, the system prompted, "Once the skill mutates to C rank, 3 branches will unlock: Summon Skeleton Warrior, Summon Skeleton Archer, and Summon Skeleton Mage. Please choose." However, the one standing before him was Reggie, wielding terrifying power at low HP. Low defense choices like archers or mages would easily collapse. Su Mubai decisively chose Summon Skeleton Warrior. The next moment, the disaster trait activated. Skeleton Warrior max HP increased by 500%. Attack power increased by 100%. Such a terrifying boost appearing on a mere C-rank skill wiped all tension from Su Mubai's face. Now that he could summon skeleton warriors, it was time to see who truly had numbers. In the next second, 2 massive skeleton warriors wielding greatswords stepped out of the summoning circle as Su Mubai gave the order, "Take that thing down." The 2 skeleton warriors immediately dragged their greatswords forward, charging straight at Reggie. The rest of the skeleton army unleashed full firepower, instantly wiping out the skeletons summoned by Reggie. As Su Mubai swung his staff, once more, 2 additional skeleton warriors joined the battlefield. Watching his forces be slaughtered one after another, the Skeleton King fell into a frenzy and roared, "You insignificant insect dare control skeletons? I am the true Skeleton King." Noticing that Reggie had lowered his defenses to amplify his power, Su Mubai sneered, "Reggie, why bother? You're only speeding up your own death." As endless waves of sword strikes rained down, Reggie's second life was completely brought to an end. He collapsed to his knees, the soul fire in his eyes slowly fading. I refuse to accept this. In an instant, a brilliant golden light shot skyward. Reggie's 270,000 experience points surged in, pushing Sumubai to another level up. At the same time, a server-wide announcement rang out. At that moment, Sumubai sensed something was off. The system displayed held difficulty, yet he had clearly cleared a disaster-level dungeon. Meanwhile, at the entrance to Mist Vale Forest, home to Baoi was loudly promoting his guild. Players who had been rushing forward moments ago were instantly drawn to a newly arrived team. Look at them. They're fully geared, someone whispered. And do you see who's in middle? Rikia. With that name, everything made sense. Hearing it, Baoi grew curious, eager to see the player whose reputation surpassed his own. Their gazes met in midair, and they soon faced each other at the dungeon entrance. Baoi spoke first, proposing a wager. Since we're all here, how about a bet? Rikia replied with interest. And what would Guild Master Hongtu like to wager? Let's bet on who clears Mist Vale Forest first. AS for the stakes. Baoi continued. My talent and your wealth are a perfect match. It'd be a shame not to cooperate. If I secure the first clear, you'll join my Baoi Guild. And if we clear it first, Baoi Guild will fully assist you with one task in the future. Rikia raised the stakes immediately. 3 tasks. Home to Baoi laughed confidently. Deal. Just then, a system notification rang out. Congratulations to Sumubai for achieving the first clear of Mist Vale Forest. The sudden announcement left both of them stunned. What? Baoi's expression darkened instantly. Sumubai again. This made the wager from moments ago feel like a complete joke. With that in mind, Baoi turned to Rikia and said awkwardly, since the normal difficulty first clear is gone, then let's bet on hard. Before he could finish, 6 system announcements rang out across the entire newbie village. Congratulations to player Bai Yi for achieving the first clear of Mist Vale Forest on held difficulty. Congratulations to Bai Yi for becoming the first player to solo kill a Dark Gold boss. The scene left Baoi grinding his teeth in fury. Without saying another word, he turned around and left. Marshmallow tilted her head and looked at Rikia. Sister Rikia, are we going in? Rikia shook her head. No rush. The first clear is already gone. Waiting a bit won't hurt. In truth, she was waiting for Sumubai to come out and complete their trade before entering. Meanwhile, in newbie village number 8888, a player wielding a longsword was also solo challenging Mist Vale Forest on hell difficulty. However, he seemed unable to gain the upper hand against the Goblin King. Seeing the announcement, he muttered in shock. Bai Yi again. What kind of talent did he awaken? I've been fighting this Goblin King for ages and still haven't taken it down. Elsewhere, when Zhao Su saw the name, Bai Yi, a sense of familiarity suddenly surfaced in his mind. He turned to Lu Ruyan and asked quietly, Ruyan, wasn't he someone who chased after you before? Why does he feel familiar now? In the middle of their flirtation, Lu Ruyan suddenly froze, as if recalling something. Bai, that name reminds me of someone. Yes, that's him, she said with growing certainty. He always used that name when he played games. Zhao Su frowned and asked, Who? Sumubai. Zhao Su shook his head in disbelief. That's impossible, he should already be dead. We pulled the oxygen tube ourselves. Besides, plenty of people use the name by Y. T has to be a coincidence. Zhao Su suddenly had a thought. If it really was that guy, then things would actually be easier. Didn't he used to be obsessed with her? Luring him again would solve everything. Lu Ruyan nodded in agreement. True, with my charm, it doesn't really matter who he is. At the same time, Sumubai successfully defeated the Skeleton King Reggie and unlocked a brand new achievement, becoming the first player in the Blue Star region to solo clear a disaster tier dungeon. The rewards included a profession book, an S-rank skill book, and an epic grade piece of equipment. After seeing the rewards, Sumubai let out a cold chuckle, as expected of a disaster tier dungeon. The payoff was absurdly generous. He immediately opened his inventory and learned the newly acquired skill. The skill allowed him to extract and store death energy from corpses. Each extraction had a maximum limit, required no consumption, and could instantly restore his HP or mana, or be used to enhance a summoned unit. With this ability, Sumubai no longer had to worry about mana consumption. Even with just a single drop of HP left, he could rely on death energy to summon endlessly. Without hesitation, he upgraded the skill by 1 tier, causing it to evolve instantly into an SS rank King tier skill. Sumubai then turned toward the remains of the Skeleton King behind him and muttered, Let's start by testing it on you. In an instant, Torrents of death energy burst forth from the bones that a full 320 points of death energy were absorbed, reaching the storage cap immediately. Seeing this, Su Mubai frowned in thought. Was it because the creature was already undead that its death energy was so dense? Right after that, a brilliantly radiant magic robe appeared before him, likely the first epic grade item in the Blue Star region. Unfortunately, it required appraisal before it could be used, and the cost would surely be steep, so he stored away for now. At that moment, a realization struck him. He quickly moved to the scattered bones and began searching through them, thinking to himself, I killed you twice. There's no way you didn't drop anything worthwhile. I'll bundle it all up and sell it to Rikia. Just as Su Mubai expected, this was an absolutely massive loot explosion. Gold gems, dark gold equipment, C-rank skill books, B-rank skill books. Damn, this basically emptied Reggie's entire skill pool. At that moment, all 3 skill books began to glow simultaneously. A system notification appeared. Since you possess Summon Skeleton Warrior, Summon Skeleton Archer, and Summon Skeleton Mage, these skills will now merge into Summon Advanced Skeleton. Skill Fusion, something he hadn't anticipated, as Mubai immediately chose to upgrade it. After checking the skill panel, he realized the new skill overwrote the previous ones. While the Archer and Mage branches remained locked, IT seemed another upgrade would be required. Upon reviewing the advancement requirements, Su Mubai decisively selected the no consumption option. After all, he currently had neither spare gold nor lifespan to waste. At that moment, a blue egg materialized out of thin air. Surprisingly, it was a quest item, Heron's Crystal Ball. The system asked, do you accept the quest Heron's Legacy? Please note, this is an epic tier quest with extreme difficulty. Proceed with caution. Accepting Heron's Crystal Ball will partially lift its seal and temporarily bind it as your equipment. If rejected, the crystal ball will tear through space and seek another chosen one. So this was the true reward of the hidden storyline? Su Mubai wondered. Since it was an item, could be upgraded? The very next second, he upgraded the crystal ball. The quest immediately changed to Diren's Lament, a legendary tier quest of unimaginable difficulty. Please reconsider. If you have cheats, ignore this warning. Naturally, Su Mubai did not hesitate. System notification. Congratulations, you have accepted the legendary quest Diren's Lament. Due to your low level, you must reach level 30 within 1 month to unlock the first phase. Failure to do so will result in the loss of Diren's Crystal Ball. After examining the Crystal Ball stat panel, Su Mubai couldn't help but marvel. The spell critical bonus was absurdly powerful. This all far exceeded all expectations that it was finally time to meet Rikia in person. Meanwhile, at the dungeon entrance, Marshmallow asked anxiously, Rikia, when are we going in? Uncle Home2 has been inside for a while already. Rikia simply shook her head. No rush, let's wait a bit longer. Sure enough, less than 2.5 seconds later, Su Mubai stepped out of the teleportation gate. Seeing him, Rikia immediately walked up with a smile. Brother Bay, you finally came out. Su Mubai thought to himself, was she really waiting here just to hand him money? Covering her mouth with one hand, Rikia whispered, did you bring the goods? Want to trade somewhere else? Su Mubai replied helplessly, no need, we'll do it here. With a casual wave of his hand, several skeleton warriors were summoned, forming a tight circle around them. The sight left everyone present in shock. After confirming it with her own eyes, Rikia became even more certain. Bay was absolutely a triple S talent player. She immediately flattered him. Brother Bay, your strength is truly terrifying. Su Mubai said plainly, there's a lot of stuff. Can you take all of it yourself? After receiving her confirmation, a mountain of equipment dropped onto the ground, leaving everyone nearby completely stunned. Rikia was equally straightforward with her offer. Black iron gear, 5 silver coins each. Bronze gear, 20 silver coins each. Earth tier skill books, 20 gold coins each. As soon as she finished speaking, she tossed him a pouch of coins. No problem. Then she added with a smile, Brother Bay, go ahead and check the gold. Rikia suddenly smiled as if she had seen through everything. Brother Bay, it's time to bring out the real good stuff. Su Mubai chuckled. He had the goods, but whether her money was enough was another question. In an instant, several pieces of gear glowing with brilliant light flew out. The crowd gasped. It was gold tier equipment, and not just 1 or 2. Marshmallow was even more shocked. There were C-rank skill books as well. After a brief pause, Rikia admitted, looks like our funds aren't quite enough right now. Fortunately, the Myriad Worlds game allowed binding trade contracts, so she wasn't worried about defaulting. That's fine, it will count everything at full value, and I'll make up the difference tomorrow. Rikiya's eyes lit up immediately. Brother Bay, that's straightforward of you that I won't haggle. Name your price. Sumubai picked up one of the skill books. Everything else is negotiable, but this one costs 500 gold. Resurrection. Outside of combat, it could automatically revive a target player and reduce 50% of their death penalties, excluding lifespan loss. Marshmallow nearly drooled. Even a god-tier skill like this, that's insane. The deal was sealed on the spot. Rikiya confirmed, Brother Bay, I'll deliver the remaining gold tomorrow. That works, right? Sumubai nodded. No problem. Watching them leave, Sumubai began to analyze the situation. He remembered that the first effect of the God of Wealth talent allowed one daily use of a money tree, granting a random 1 to 999 gold coins. Rikiya's confidence in producing 500 gold by tomorrow clearly came from the remaining 2 effects of her talent. Sumubai then called out to them, by the way, didn't you get 2 soul stones for the bronze boss first kill? Want to make another deal? I can help you secure the nightmare difficulty first clear of Mistvale Forest, and even give you the ability to farm hell difficulty at MY. Condition is simple. The first clear soul stones, plus the ones you already have, all go to me. Rikiya and Maple exchanged a glance before answering in unison, deal. At that moment, Sumubai lay leisurely on the grass, basking in the sunlight as system notifications kept ringing in his ears, 0.1 HP or not. Life was still comfortable, and leveling up didn't slow down at all. In the blink of an eye, his level had already reached 9, yet the appraiser was nowhere to be found. He had traveled all this way just to get his equipment appraised, only to discover that there wasn't a single trace of the appraiser in sight. A perfectly good appraiser, obsessed with painting instead, refusing to stay in the shop and insisting on wandering the grasslands for inspiration. Just then, the system suddenly notified him that a skeleton warrior had been killed. Sumubai froze in surprise. Killed instantly? That skeleton warrior had nearly 150,000 HP. Who could possibly one-shot it? Could it be the appraiser? If NPCs were this terrifying, he should have saved more lifespan for himself earlier. Suddenly, a figure appeared behind Sumubai and snorted, Not bad, kid. You actually managed to summon this many piles of broken bones. Sumubai spun around and realized it was actually the appraiser. When he checked the man's status panel, it was filled with nothing but question marks, terrifyingly strong. Just as expected. The appraiser said impatiently, I finally went out to sketch for inspiration, and your pile of junk bones ruined everything that tell me. How are you going to compensate? Sumubai quickly pulled out a pouch of coins and asked cautiously, Will money do? Without another word, the appraiser snatched it away. Do I look like someone who's short on money? Just as Sumubai was about to complain internally, a painting was suddenly shoved into his arms. I'm not unreasonable, the appraiser said. 100 gold. And this painting is yours. Why work isn't something just anyone can get. Consider yourself lucky. However, when Sumubai looked down, his speechlessness only deepened. It was nothing more than a casually drawn painting by the appraiser, worse than something a 3-year-old could make. The appraiser seemed to read his thoughts, his expression darkening as he pointed at him. Seeing this, Sumubai quickly waved his hands. Senior, you misunderstood. I just wanted to calm myself first and truly appreciate the insight behind your creation later on. The appraiser immediately threw an arm over Sumubai's shoulder and laughed. Not bad. Kid, I'm in a good mood today. Got anything you want appraised? I'll do it for free. In the next instant, several dark gold, tier pieces of equipment floated before the appraiser's eyes. He froze for a moment before saying, You've got real strength and damn good luck. Internally, however, he was cursing 100 gold to appraise 4 dark gold items. This was a massive loss. With a helpless expression, the appraiser began chanting spells. Shadow boots. Once equipped, they automatically grant the skill Ghost Step. Bone armor. Summon skeletal armor around the wearer, granting damage reduction and a 300% damage reflection effect. Bone Greatsword. Comes with heavy strike, giving attacks a chance to trigger triple damage. Necklace of the Dead. Attacks apply a curse that reduces the target's physical and magical defense by 100 points and grants the skill Fear of the Dead, reducing the effects of fear-based debuffs by 50%. After finishing the appraisal, the appraiser turned to leave. Normally, I'd charge 100 gold for even one of these. Kid, you really struck gold today. That's enough. Next time, keep your pile of bones far away from me and stop ruining my sketching. Hearing this, Sumubai hurriedly stopped him. The appraiser turned back impatiently. What now, Brad? Don't tell me you still have dark gold gear to appraise. Sumubai scratched his head and smiled. Senior, there's actually one more, an epic grade item. Our gold appraisals were already expensive, so something higher tier must be even worse. Since it's free now, I had to take the chance. Unexpectedly, the appraiser turned his back. I said it's free, and I won't charge you, but my appraisal skill level is too low to identify that thing. Sumubai froze. You can't appraise it? The appraiser snorted. I'm just a part-time appraiser in the starter village. Not being able to appraise epic gear, doesn't that make sense? Sumubai thought about it, and actually did. The appraiser suddenly added, Kid, how about I teach you appraisal? Sumubai instantly broke into a grin. This was incredible. From now on, he wouldn't need to spend money on appraisals anymore. The appraiser suddenly revealed a sly grin and nodded. Sure, but it'll cost you some tuition. He held up 5 fingers. 500. As he spoke, he flicked out a specially crafted coin. Yes, but it has to be this kind. Ancient gold coins. Sumubai felt a surge of delight. He remembered that once copper coins were upgraded, they became ancient copper coins. That'd be why that logic, upgraded gold coins would naturally become ancient gold coins. With a confident look, Huai Jian turned and walked away at the same time. Sumubai triggered a hidden quest. Collect ancient gold coins, rewarding the secondary skill basic appraisal. Come find me after you've gathered them. The moment he finished speaking, Sumubai called out to stop him. The appraiser turned back impatiently. What now, Brad? Sumubai held up an entire pouch of coins. Senior, take a look at this. Huai Jian froze, checking again and again in disbelief. Where did you get so many ancient gold coins? Seeing his reaction, Sumubai knew it was settled. He smiled. So, Senior, can you teach me appraisal now? Huai Jian burst out laughing and tossed him a skill book. Ha, kid, you really surprised me. Take it, this is yours. He vanished instantly after that, leaving only a final remark. Kid, when you've gathered 10,000 ancient gold coins, come find me again and I'll give you another big surprise. The hidden quest was officially activated. Sumubai couldn't help but think. The old man was actually pretty interesting, still holding something back. But a mere basic appraisal clearly wasn't enough for him. Upgrade. With a single thought, Sumubai mastered ultimate appraisal and unlocked the hidden secondary profession, appraiser. Sumubai muttered to himself, this should be enough to appraise things now, right? Unexpectedly, the very first appraisal attempt ended in failure. With only a 10% success rate, Sumubai couldn't help but wonder, was his luck really this bad? Refusing to accept it, he began appraising again and again. 2.5 hours later, Sumubai finally gave up. Fine, you win, but I'm done appraising for now. At that moment, a system notification popped up announcing the discovery of a wilderness treasure chest. A burst of golden light suddenly erupted from a distant hillside. Sumubai's eyes lit up. Today really was full of surprises. If the chest was guarded by high-level monsters, the rewards would be massive. Before long, he arrived at the location, only to see the ground around the chest littered with the corpses of prairie wolves. As expected, this chest was anything but ordinary. With a wave of his hand, several skeleton warriors appeared. All right, boys, time to get to work. He had thought it would be an easy win, but suddenly, a wolf's howl echoed from behind. In an instant, countless starving wolves surged out from all directions, including many elite variants. Sumubai raised an eyebrow. What? Trying to overwhelm me with numbers? Then let's see who's got more. After several rounds of full-scale clashes, the wolves' numbers clearly began to dwindle. Soon enough, they were completely wiped out by Sumubai's endless skeletal army. Seeing this, Sumubai couldn't help but laugh. The starving wolves were nothing special. His skeletal army hadn't even fully formed before they were wiped out. In an instant, an enormous surge of experience flooded into his body. As a result, Sumubai became the first player in the Blue Planet region of the Myriad Worlds game to reach level 10, earning the title far ahead. He then slowly walked toward the treasure chest, wondering whether a wilderness chest like this could be upgraded. The very next second, a successful upgrade notification rang out. It seemed this trip across the plains had been well worth it. The system followed up with a prompt. An unlocked golden treasure chest has been discovered. Open it. Sumubai chose to open it without hesitation. Congratulations, you have obtained a gold-grade item, Withered with Staff. Congratulations, you have obtained a gold-grade treasure map. Sumubai smiled instinctively. He hadn't expected a treasure map to drop as well. Unfortunately, the original destination marked on the map lay outside the beginner village. At that moment, the system issued another alert. Your level has reached the beginner village cap. Please locate the village chief and transfer to your assigned city, where you will no longer gain experience. So level 10 really was the cutoff. There was no reason to stay any longer. Sumubai decided to visit the village chief first, and on the way, he upgraded the treasure map, transforming it into Darkthorn. The system marked the route, with the destination located in the wilderness outside Jingli City, instructing him to head there to begin the treasure hunt. Seeing this, he felt slightly helpless. The distance was far too great to deal with for now. Meanwhile, at the entrance of the Mistvale Forest, the Bayoi squad walked out with satisfied expressions. A system announcement followed shortly after. Congratulations to the Bayoi Guild for securing the first clear of the Misty Land dungeon on hard difficulty. The surrounding players looked on with undisguised envy. At that moment, Bayoi issued orders for everyone to get ready and prepare to challenge the nightmare difficulty. Just as he finished speaking, Ricky's team emerged from the dungeon. That a system announcement followed immediately. Congratulations to player Rikia, who led her team to secure the first clear of nightmare difficulty. The sight stunned Bayoi on the spot. His expression darkened as he demanded, "How could you possibly clear nightmares so fast?" Rikia simply let out a cold laugh and replied calmly, "Just good luck." After one of his subordinates whispered an explanation, realization hit Bayoi. He glared ahead and growled. So that's how it is. All of Bay's top gear and skill books were sold exclusively to Rikia, weren't they? The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. Clenching his teeth, he snarled, "Why does he get special treatment? Just because I don't have Thunder-type talents. I'll make him pay for this." As Rikia was about to order her team to rest and prepare for a hell difficulty run, a Blue Planet regional announcement suddenly appeared. Congratulations to Shenlong Empire player Bay for becoming the first to reach level 10 in the Blue Planet region. Immediately afterward, the system announced that since Bay had reached level 10, the beginner village level rankings were now unlocked ahead of schedule. When Bayoi saw that his own ranking had fallen below Bay and Ricky's team, he snorted angrily and left behind a harsh warning. "Don't get too smug, we'll see who has the last laugh." Cotton Candy exclaimed in surprise, "Sister Rikia, Bay is leveling way too fast. He was only level 8 when we traded earlier. This is like a rocket launch." Rikia understood perfectly. Maintaining a solid relationship with Bay was now the top priority. Since the Life Soul Stones were already secured, it was best to deliver them right away. She dismissed the rest of the team and headed back to town on her own. Not long after, both sides met again at their agreed-upon location. Rikia handed over the items and said, "Bay, these are the 10 beginner Life Soul Stones from the Nightmare First Clear rewards. If you get more good stuff in the future, don't forget about us." Sumubai replied politely, keeping his tone calm, and could see the moment they shook hands. The transaction contract they had agreed on earlier was officially fulfilled. Rikia smiled and assured him that the pricing would definitely be satisfactory, and if necessary, she didn't mind covering a bit extra for Bay. Sumubai didn't linger. He turned and left quickly, thinking to himself that none of this social maneuvering could affect him. They could reconnect after leaving the beginner village. He then headed toward the center of the town. Judging by the building ahead, he concluded that this must be the village chief's residence. As soon as he arrived, the village chief remarked with surprise, "I didn't expect a descender to reach level 10 so quickly." Sumubai nodded and explained that he intended to leave the beginner village. After a brief pause, the village chief sighed. "This God-forbidden land will sooner or later belong to descenders like you. Come with me." Inside the house, a softly glowing teleportation area came into view, and the village chief gestured for him to step inside. While leading the way, the chief explained that this village fell under Donghai City, one of the 10 primary main cities of the Shenlong Empire, and also its most prosperous coastal metropolis. Only there would the real journey begin. As the teleportation array activated, Sumubai thanked the village chief and promised to return someday, if fate allowed. After he departed, the village chief turned around and let out a deep sigh. The age of chaos in the God-forbidden land was about to begin, and no one knew how many would die this time. Meanwhile, in another location, someone spoke in a low voice. "It's him again. Rian, do you think this Bay could really be Sumubai?" The other person sneered. "Whether he is or not doesn't matter. If he's that strong, once I run into him, he won't escape my grasp." In the next instant, Sumubai arrived in Donghai City. The realism of the world made him pause for a brief moment. A trace of confusion crossed his mind. Leaving the beginner village didn't grant any immediate rewards at all. The moment the thought formed, the Death Codex automatically advanced to level 10. A system notification followed, increasing damage dealt to undead creatures by 100%. The same effect was applied to all of his summon units as well. Immediately afterward, the Death Codex unlocked its auxiliary ability, Soul Drain. Whenever Sumubai or his summons kill a target, a portion of soul energy is absorbed. Wild monsters killed by him will have their respawn time doubled. Players killed by him will suffer double penalties. including lifespan loss, which is converted into 1,000 soul points. Additionally, Su Mubai gains one extra opportunity to unlock the Death Codex, with a second special effect unlocking at level 30. Reading through the effects, a faint smile appeared at the corner of Su Mubai's lips. A system built around amplified death penalties and exclusive growth mechanics was certainly intriguing. In the next moment, countless runes flooded into his vision as the system announced that he had learned a new skill. The newly acquired skill, Death Gaze, activated its full description. It deals true damage equal to 50% of spell power per second for 10 seconds and applies a fear effect. Targets whose life tier is lower than Su Mubai's will have all attributes forcibly reduced by 20% while under the gaze, an effect that cannot be mitigated by any form of resistance. If the target is killed, even upon revival, they will suffer a 12-hour weakened state with all attributes reduced by 40%. The skill requires no continuous channeling, has a maximum range of 100 meters, and wherever the gaze reaches, death follows like a shadow. Su Mubai cursed inwardly. The near-death sensation was genuinely miserable. Then it clicked. True damage dealt every second, combined with proximity-based scaling that doubled both damage and range. This was basically an ability where anyone he looked at was as good as dead. At that moment, a deep and authoritative voice sounded behind him. To think that among the descended, someone would awaken such power. Little one, you are both fortunate and unfortunate. Su Mubai turned immediately and saw that the speaker was none other than Sidu Ji, the Lord of Donghai City, a being so powerful that even his level could not be perceived.